Hello everyone. Before our research presentation today, let me introduce myself. My name is Ardhi Ikhsan from Universitas Pekalongan, Faculty of Teaching, Training, and Education Sciences for any majors, Indonesian language and literature educations. Okay, I would like to give presentations about my research with the title of Linguistic Study, Meaning Field and Semantic Meaning Components of President Joko Widodo's speech text at the G20 Climate Change Summit COP26 Glasgow. Alright, I will be share the first slide about for the introduction or our backgrounds based on the research. In this research, semantic is called as a field of the semantic that studies relationship between the linguistic stage, which the market is in the other words. Semantic is field of study linguistic that study and meanings content in linguistic units. Therefore, semantic can be correctly decided to be sciences that studies meaning choir embraces that semantic has the same position as the phonology, grammar, and syntax in linguistic study. According to the theory development from the view of Ferdinand de Saussure, meaning is understanding or concept which in our or contains in linguistic stage. Fields of meaning is part of the semantic system of the linguist that describe part of life realized by words, elements whose meaning are related. According to M.H. Abdurrahman, a speech is delivery of the descriptions or opinion which is done verbally about something or problems by the expressing in descriptions problems which sentence that are clear in front of the message or and quote at the content times. On the occasions of the President Joko Widodo's attending a series of summit events, G20 United Nations Climate Change Conference in UK COP26 in Glasgow, Scotland, which has held since November 20 and 21. For the research methods, in this research are quantitative research using descriptive analytic methods based the opinion of Sugiono. Descriptive analysis method is a semantics that used to analyze data and describing data that have been collected as the without intending to draw conclusions to apply the general or generalizations. And according to Aimade Winarta, descriptive analysis method qualitative research is analyzing, describing, and summarizing various condition situations from various data collections in form of the result of interview or observations about the problem's investigation variable what happened in the field research. Based on the variables from the description of the activities above, the research simulates the focus problems and research object with sources from the field theory of the meaning and components meaning in the speech text. And the purpose of this research is to find out how the relationship and the relation between the meaning of words in content of the speech text with semantic theory and linguistic study. Research to sources data and CNN Indonesia article media as a speech text and recognition in YouTube platform as observation on the video recording speech due the application of the digital media and the platform YouTube is popular social media but that is widely used the people who understanding technology advances. The research interest in the conducting this research is that there is no object yet and the same research before. In this case, the text of President Joko Widodo's speech at the summit and recent G20 and COP26. For the research method, in this research methods used in this research method has three stages, namely first method and unique data collections, and three data analysis method and technique used And thirdly, methods and techniques for the presenting result data analysis. Sources of the data collections to analysis based on the meaning field and the meaning components in the form of the speech text content in article page and speech video recordings. In the analysis, the data collections and the reader considers not only what read, heard, and seen on the text of speech article, the video type data, but also considers and contents of speech and rage theory. In this case, research and richer analysis to data finding semantic theory. For the next slide is finding and discussions. First, the meaning field. In the meaning field of the meaning of word or exams classified in one field of the meaning based on the nature of the semantic relations can be referred to in two groups are the field collocations and field sets. The collocation fields indicates a semantic relationship that found between words in a sentence or their lexical elements. Meanwhile, field sets show a pragmatic relationship because of the words of the exams which are in a set field group can be submitted with each other. A group of words that is usually has the same words class in a unity. The the result of the study will adjust the sub-focus of the study which has then linked it with the semantic theory of the meaning field and the components of the meaning in speech text. Suffers method result and discussion of data analysis with descriptions of the patterns that have been found in text speech on the meaning and the presence using in the context of the sentence in data analysis chapter, and the presentation of the result of the analysis used in informal methods, namely using unusual language or easy to understand language. In addition, and presentation of the result of the analysis also use formal method used in formulation is from sage and symbols. Our first, at the first 1.1 collocation groups. For the collocation group are different from the Latin collocation, which mean being in the same place as, and refers to cinematic relationship that occurs between words or lexical elements that, and the result of the analysis of the sum of data findings in the speech text according to semantic theory that in the sense of the big Indonesian dictionary of the field meaning collocation as follows. For the data ones result and finding discussion in this research in the energy sectors we are also moving forward. For example, in the data ones with the ecosystem development electrical instructions of the largest solar power plants in Southeast Asia, utilization of the new and renewable energy including biofuel as well as industrial development based on the clean energy, including the constructions of the world's largest green industrial area collocations in North Kalimantan, Indonesia. Uh, Based on the delivery of information in content of speech text talks about development and energy sectors that improving forward in progressive in this case the location in the same region, namely in Indonesia as countries. The type of the meaning of the intended collocation here in the meaning of the words that encourage with assessment of the which word to others word that is collocation. In the concept of speech text examples of the words development, generator developments, and utilization could have the donative and meanings and sustainability progress or and collocation serves to a synecmatic relationship because it is linear. For the next slide to finding and discussions exams for the data 2. In addition, in carbon market and carbon price must be part of the heading of the issues climate change. A transparent, inclusive, and fair carbon economic system must be created. Based on the expression contained in speech tag regarding in aspects that including in the scope are carbon market and carbon price, which is considered an important part of the responses to climate change. The type of meaning and of collocation several to there is meaning of a word that is related to the adjustment of a word to other word, that is the collocations. Quote in types of the speech including carbon market, carbon price, collocation, and holdings change would carbon have donative meaning, namely its costs have been set for carbon pollutions, which the aims and encouraging polluters to reduce and the number of house effect gases will in words holding and change have the negative meaning, and namely process of the action for away and daily towards and diverse directions. For the directions and pointing collocation of the semantic relationship between in the linear natures. For the next slide, about finding discussion for the group side, such refers to pragmatic relationship because the words of elements are present in a set can be replaced each other. It is usually a group of lexical elements of the same class which appears to be a single entity. Each lexical element in set are limited by the its place in relation to the members in that set. The result of the analysis of the set group in the speech text as shown in Table 1. For Table 1 in can be changed and based on the result of the analysis and the set group in speech text, there is several words which are pragmatic relationship because and the elements are is such as the words examples ecosystem and the climate The words ecosystem is defined as an ecological system format the inseparable reciprocal relationship between living things and and the rare affirmance, which means show the similarities between several meanings of the words and that have integrated elements replaced and appears to be the process of the single entity. Whilst the definition of the word climate is habit and character of the which that occurs in place or area can be understanding from the pragmatic relationship, namely the relationship between the language elements contained in speech and in verticals. The pragmatic relationship occurs by the comparing or elements language that have the same positions from the analysis of such group in word ecosystem and word climate both have a pragmatic relationship because the elements inside can be interact the each other replaced and related. For the next slide about the finding and discussion for secondly components meaning based on the result of analysis and components of the meaning contains in the speech text can be defined thoroughly because each component of the meaning of the word and former has the difference of the exams and table 2 to components of the meaning formally. For the meaning components in the table 1 above, the richer analysis and the meaning field in the speech text using analysis of descriptive words patterns with informal language so that it is easy to understand and in distinguish between collocation and set. Will in table 2 above the few words have the characteristic different definitions and use the richer analysis and meaning components in the and the speech text using binary analysis that is given as sich plus if the word has a component's meaning put as minus sich if the word does not have meaning components. To the finding and discussion, the word energy is something that can be used to various purposes and the needs of human life to live more precisely with various types of the energy natural. So the components of the word energy has the characteristic plus in general, plus in concrete, minus in human, and minus in life. The secondly of the words economics can be interest as the study of business people to achieve prosperity. So the components of the world economy has the characteristic including plus in general, plus in create, minus in human, and minus in life. And thirdly, the word of technology is an a variety of the purpose and the facilities in the form of various kinds of equipment for or a system that serves to provide comfort and convenience for humans. So the components in the word technology have the characteristic including plus in general, plus in concrete, minus in human, and minus in life. And fourthly, the word mangrove is type of cotyledonous plants that live in places and seawater habitats, and mangroves are plants result from the cultivation activities or take from the nature. So the components of the words mangrove has characteristics including plus in general, plus concrete, minus in human, and plus in life. For the next point about heading and subheading for the conceptual basis. First, for the semantics, about first for the semantic, the word semantic, the same words are Greek sema, which mean in speech or symbol in verbal, or from the of semantic in semanio, which mean to measure or symbolize, which what in meaning by speech or symbol in linguistic studies and linguistic science according to Saucer. This linguistic change consists of a change component in the form of the sounds and change components in the form of the concept and meaning. And for the secondly, meaning field and meaning component. First, the fields meaning, and the fields and the fields for the meaning is meaning and secondly for meaning fields and meaning components, and including in fields of meaning and meaning components. And to second and thirdly is speech tags about the weighting of speech tags in person ability to express idea, thoughts, and idea opinion in the form of speech tags. Speech tag accompanied by the strong reasons, evidence, and fact of that it can influence and the reader. Writing speech text included in the preparation of the material, that is starting to choose or determining and problem rating to text or speech script intake. For the next slide is for last but not least and for the conclusions. In the research for the conclusions, first two fields of meaning which the nature of the semantic relationship. In point A, collocations in expertise to speech text examples of the words and collocation including in develop, healthy, changing, donating, founding, developing, and utilizing together to that denotative meaning sustainability or progress, and collocation refers to the relationship pragmatic because the linear nature. And for the point B, that the speech text there is are several words with a pragmatic relationship because the element exist in a set such as and the words ecosystem, collaboration, rehabilitation, industry, and climate words or climate change. And secondly, about the meaning components. For the meaning components, if there is five words forming among them in energy, economy, technology, mangrove, prosperity, with using binary analysis page given a siege. This for therefore it is semantically recognized that the grouping of the words of elements lexical collocation and set only involves an aspect of meaning, namely the basic meaning. Meanwhile, the meaning of each word or lexical elements need to be seen and studied separately in relation to the use of words and lexical elements in speech, and varies semantically from the meaning components as well as and the meaning fields. Each word, examples, or lexical item incorrectly have meaning. The meaning is that each word examines or has the lexical item considered of number of the components called the meaning components from this overall meaning of the word exams or lexical items. Therefore, the meaning field and meaning components contains of the uh, speech tags of the each lexical. Therefore, each has its own meaning components, which many have the similars and differences with other lexical elements. For the last stage and for the, I want to say thank you so much for giving me and as for the attention uh, until my presentation research in this today. Thank you so much for everyone.